I give the floor to Algeria.
شكرا سيد الرئيس.
Thank you, Mr. President. Algeria has voted in favor of the draft resolution on the situation in the eastern DRC. We thank the pen holders for their efforts and thank the council members for the consensus achieved. My delegation participated in the consensus while delivering observations on certain provisions during the negotiations. Mr. President, Algeria expresses its deep concern for the situation in the eastern DRC. And we call for the end of the hostilities and de-escalation in the provinces of North Kivu and South Kivu and restoring stability, in particular in Goma and Bukavu. We also reiterate our call on the conflicting parties to immediately reach a ceasefire and return to the negotiations table in the context of the negotiation processes adopted by the African Union in order to end the bloodshed and to prevent the escalation in the region. In this context, my delegation warmly welcomes the statement by the African Union's Peace and Security Council on the 14th of February 2025. The statement clearly emphasized that the political settlement is the only means to end the conflict in the DRC and in the Great Lakes region in the context of both Luanda and Nairobi processes, which were recently merged as per the recommendations of the leaders of the East African Community and the SADC. This in order to coordinate the handling of this conflict and its drivers and in consistency with the principle of African solutions for African problems. We commit to this principle as Africans who hold their continent dear. Mr. President, my delegation shares the concern of the UN and the international community with regards to the deteriorating humanitarian situation in the eastern DRC. While the death toll keeps rising and that has reached 3,000 deaths from last month and an unprecedented increase in IDPs who have reached 500,000 displaced persons. In addition, disease is spreading and corpses are decaying and there is no minimum standard of health services. In this context, we call on the parties to facilitate humanitarian access to reach the affected population and to open the humanitarian corridors and airports to facilitate relief efforts by the United Nations and the international community and to alleviate the impact of this crisis on the population in the area. Mr. President, Algeria calls on all parties to adopt the approach of dialogue and goodwill to address the issues without blame and accusations and a zero-sum game or a confrontation in order to reach a lasting settlement that is fair and comprehensive in a manner that preserves the sovereignty of the DRC, its territorial integrity, and in a manner that addresses the legitimate concerns of DRC's neighbors. We also call on all external actors outside the continent to end the negative interventions and to do away with increasing influence in the region, some of which are the legacy of a gone colonization era, and to support the mediation efforts of the AU and the other organizations taking part in the settlement process. In conclusion, Algeria reiterates its readiness to commit to any sincere effort that will serve the de-escalation in the Great Lakes region and that will restore the confidence and trust between the parties in order to build a better future for all the peoples of the region. The region, as all people and countries in Africa, aspire to peaceful coexistence and prosperity and to reap the benefits of their natural resources that they have been blessed with. They also aspire to cooperate against the looting attempts and plundering attempts by any actor, whoever they be. Thank you.
Thank you.